Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Hope that you're having a wonderful day here today. We're going to be having a fun game. I know that it says TY up there. This is not TY playing. This is actually one of Scan's IDs. So yeah, this is our boy Scan in the bottom left, playing Terran, of course, looking in great shape lately. And he's going up against Absolute, who, you know, a very strong Zerg, playing a lot as well. I've casted a bunch of them on the channel, but nothing about him like super duper stands out. You know, he's a strong Zerg player, can beat anybody. But you know, not maybe the stability level of like a strong ASL Zerg. So we'll see how this goes. It's going to be on retro. I do favor Scan a bit. You know, he's been playing magnificently, I think. I actually messaged him about that and cheered him on for the upcoming ASL qualifiers. Let him know that I think that his TVP has been outstanding lately. Specifically, he's like, "Oh, I feel like it's bad." Very, very humble guy. But yeah, I think that's oftentimes Terran players are down on themselves about their TVPs. But his TVZ has been pretty bomb lately as well. So I'm interested to see what type of style he'll utilize here, because the TVZ meta has been shifting a bit. You know, on this channel, we've been showing a lot of flash, and he's been utilizing a lot of mech builds, a lot of mech switches as well. If you look at other Pro Terrans, most Pro Terrans right now are doing very marine-heavy, timing-oriented type of builds, because a lot of people are having a very hard time busting Zergs that are going for, you know, very standard, like Defiler type play into fourth base. It's just very hard to break that with SK Terran right now. So generally it comes down to either we have like a very teched out opening that's meant to hurt the Zerg enough that you can kill him, or, you know, Flash with his mech switches or mech openings that are timing attacks, or, you know, these heavy bio attacks that are meant to break Zerg right before or right as they get lurkers up. So anyways, we'll see which one Scan wants to go for, or maybe something else altogether. Marine popping out as he's walled in. Going to go ahead and just make that command center. And of course, behind such a beautiful wall as this is completely Zergling tight, with Marines popping out on the inside. Not heavy surface area on the depots or anything. It's like basically the best wall you can get. So he can really do anything. He could throw a gas down immediately and go factory. He could throw down a gas and go eBay. I mean, you can throw down a gas and go Academy, but when you have a wall like this, one racks Academy, I don't think there's like many situations where you would use that. But yeah, looks like it will be this very quick engineering bay. So the very quick engineering bay, this leans towards the bust heavy approach that we were talking about before, where a lot of top Terrans right now are going 4 or 5 barracks plus 1 and just trying to bowl Zerg over before they get up to the tech that they need, right? So if Zerg opens with Mutiling, they try to get their third base up and then go into Lurker, and basically you're in this little tug of war where you're trying to figure out, okay, when are you going Lurker? And let me hit right before that, because that's when you're maximally weak. Whereas if they're just doing nothing but Mutiling for a long time, which is very stylistic. Oh, that was interesting, canceling that out. Was that just to save a supply? No, it wasn't. Okay. Maybe just realizes that there's no real attack that could be incoming. Or maybe that was for a supply because this Overlord popped. Anyways, whatever it was. Always like to, if you were doing it for a supply, though, you would have done it on the gas. So I think he thought he needed it and then decided not to. Okay, anyways, enough of these sides. Scan right now just keeping the SCV alive. He sees the timing of the Spire. Academy coming up, +1. Pretty heavy Marine production out of the 1 barracks. Sometimes people cut that just slightly to get the barracks up a little bit quicker. But he's keeping it relatively solid. And we'll see those barracks adds shortly here. The one thing is you want to be careful at this. Notice how he goes, I was just about to talk about SCV counts. You really got to be careful to make sure your SCV count is in the mid-30s before you turret. He's making one, like, if you can get 33 SCVs before you start missile turrets, you're quite happy. But he's making one comsat here, right? For those of you who watch the channel a lot, you'll have heard me say this many times. Comsat takes the same build time as 2 SCVs. So You know, if you choose to make 2 comsats, it's going to be 4 less than you could have had. Choose to make 1, that's 2 less. Thing is, he had the SCV alive for a long time looking in here. So what he might do, I didn't actually pay attention where the SCV died, but when he gets the 1 scan, it might just be to like scan the natural. It might be to scan to make sure he's making mutas. You know, it might be to check for a 3rd. The 3rd is going up here. But yeah, trying to keep that SCV production going. Oh, look at this. We got 33. And the turrets will start very soon. Now, this is funny because look at how late he is on the mutas. Like, he's popping rounds of drones. He's getting as many drones as possible. This is the little back and forth that can occur, right? Like, he could... Some people line up their larva so that the second the spire's done, they get the mutas going. He just started +1. He's like, no, we're going to make drones. It's okay. And look, the turrets are all actually going to be up ahead of time. You want the turrets finishing as the mutas are here, basically, right? Like, people try their best to time these out exactly. But as is, it feels like Absolute here, maybe getting the slightly better, and you can see that scan goes down. He's like, where are the mutas? And he sees, okay, mutas are popping now. So he probably knows at this point that there's not as much out there as he would have expected to be in the earlier game. You have to prepare for it because you don't know. But yeah, this is a very nice drone count at 27. He's adding those mutas now. +1 just finished, range just finished, so scan can start pressuring. And this is very important. Ooh, gets a muta pick already. But yeah, he is on those 4 racks. Factory on the way. +1 armor on the way. Mutas flying in, checking if there's any sort of counter. They also want to stay in between the Bioforce and the rally point. So if any units try to come out to join, he can cut them off. Keep good track of where the Bio Ball is as well. He loses a muta there. He's, you know, he's dogging the army with a very small amount of mutas. He's already lost a couple. So only 9 instead of that full group of 11. Scan is making his way up here. I think this might be a bit of a mistake from Scan. The odds of him getting this base are very low. But actually, I think Absolute just barely missed vision. And now he's going back for a counter harass. So, oh. People think that it's like just me with the medics. Medics are the worst unit in the entire game for AI by far. So those medics get get left way behind. So he is going to get this. So basically the mutas came up to see and they didn't see the bio. So I think he thought that maybe the bio walked around this way. So he now loses the base. This is one of those moments where you just slam your desk, because he barely missed the vision of that. And now Scan has done massive damage. So this is a position where you're like, okay, I'm way far ahead as Terran. You feel 100% confident here, right? Like a mid-S Terran would feel confident beat Sulky in this position. 100%. Like, you make a huge army at this point and you follow up with a timing attack. And there's not going to be a whole lot that can be done because the economy is so butchered. So right now, he is going to go in and go hard here with the mutas. And honestly, if he just goes pure muta here, this is probably the best chance for Absolute. Especially since he now sees siege tanks, right? And he's slowed that down a little bit. Oh, dude, he's diving so hard. Oh my god. I'm surprised he dived that hard. Like, it was good at the start. And then to stay that long was kind of crazy. But yeah, sometimes when they're going for, like, this fast siege tank push follow-up, you can stay on mutas a bit. You harass a little bit more heavily. Their anti-air is going to be very weak, because it's going to be, like, 1 irradiate, and the radiate's generally going to be a little late, because you're spending money on siege mode and everything. So I feel like he actually had a little bit better opportunity until he threw away, like, 4 or 5 extra mutas there. A little bit of a misplay, for sure. And he scans, he sees the hive timing, he sees this drone pulled. The drone pulled means that he wants to get the defiler mound down immediately. This could, like, with those scans being spent there, well, he's still got enough scans that I think he can re-scout it. But, like, this could be one of those risky situations where you say, screw it, we're going Greater Spire. Because this is not a build optimized for that, but, you know, Greater Spire can be strong against siege tank pushes. It's just, you don't have a lot of anti-air. You don't have Valkyries generally, or you have, like, you know, 1 to 2 irradiates maximum, and that's not really enough to stop a massive Guardians. Now, he's not doing that. He's going up towards those Defilers. Defiler's going to be the stock standard way to stop a siege tank push, so it's not a bad choice. But, you know, the damage he took by losing this hatchery is pretty severe. So 5 factory production. The supply overwhelmingly in Scan's favor, almost twice as much. Starts to move out. 3 siege tank push timing here. He does have that +2 going, so we can tell Scan's going to stay on the SK Terran. Not a big surprise there. No one's really doing mech switches that I've seen other than Flash lately. Gonna have a radiate relatively soon here, and that's going to shred those mutas pretty hard if he hits it right. All right, comes down, catches a drone in a bad rally point, catches an Overlord. That's good. Scourge flying out here. If he can pick that, that's a damn good pick if you get the first science vessel. 4th siege tank. Now, this type of push is very good on retro because the gas is on the outside of the natural, so you can actually hit the gas from really far away. Any map that's like this, Polypoid, Citadel, this map, maps that are not like this would be like Radion, for instance, right? Where you have the gas is kind of tucked away, you can't hit it, like you basically kill the hatchery before the gas. You never kill the hatch or you win the game, right? But you can kill the gas and the game goes on, so might give us a really interesting position. Now, he needs, oh my god, he needs 1 more Dark Swarm here. And throws it down. Gonna go ahead and burrow these 2 lurkers. Did get a little bit of damage on that tank, but not enough. Oops, sorry. Not enough as of yet. Mutas come up and try to help finish off some of these siege tanks. Not bad. Ooh. You know, the siege tanks are still useful despite the Dark Swarm. They can gain some value here. Scan taking the 3rd base. Getting... yeah, he has a 2nd starport. That's pretty normal. If you stay SK Terran, you only... some people only make 2 tanks, but you can make 2 or 3. Here, Scan made 4, which I haven't really seen. But you definitely want to go into that 2nd starport pretty quickly and get those irradiates up. Okay, so only 1 siege tank remains. He's going to go ahead and Scan and just try to kill all this. This is actually a great move from Scan. He does have that +1 armor, so able to kill off those lurkers pretty darn well. And GG is called. He just didn't have the energy that he needed at that time to save himself. So very tempo-oriented victory here from Scan. Very, very well played. Not too bad from Absolute. I feel like the waste of those mutas was a little bit, a little bit impactful. You know, if you have that full group, maybe you're able to pick off the siege tanks, slow it down a little bit more. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the game. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.